to put the video down.
No, I do not have to put the video down.
You do?
No, I do not, madam.
Why are you filming this station anyway?
I've already told you I'm making a documentary.
About what?
About officers from this police station and 2 other police stations, okay, that committed sexual offences and only got an 18-month suspension.
Oh,
Okay, that is the reason why I'm here.
what are the officers called?
Their names, I can't remember all 5 of their names, okay, but literally it was between here, Twickenham and Kingston upon Thames. It was those 3 police stations that came together as one, okay, and put a unit together, and that's when the offences were committed. And literally, as human beings, I just want to know whether or not any serving police officer actually has a comment to make, whether or not they feel...
Your name, so how am I meant to make a comment?
But as I already said, I can't remember all 5 of their names,
Yeah.
okay, but it was between all 3 of the police stations.
But do you not think this is like not the right way to go about it? Because you should just ask if you can text someone, and then someone will invite you in, and then you can have a talk about it.
Well, I've tried contacting the press office, and literally I've had nothing back.
Right. The thing is, you can't film out here of the police station.
Why can I not?
People think you're doing something else. People
Well,
think
no,
you're doing something wrong.
I'm doing a perfectly lawful activity,
Yeah.
okay, I've told you exactly why I'm here.
Yeah, but do you understand why this looks...
Well, yeah, if you didn't stop me, you wouldn't be doing your job, and I understand that,
Yeah.
okay, but then what you've also then got to remember, I have the legal right to do exactly what I'm doing, and that is what I'm doing,
Okay, thank you.
okay, and that is exactly what I'm doing, okay. So when you actually look at it as a whole, I'm doing a completely lawful activity. I've been here for a while. I've spoken to several officers already. Okay, I've had nice interactions.
Yeah.
I've had only 1 aggressive officer.
Right.
Okay, that I will be putting a complaint in about.
Okay.
But the majority of the officers have been really pleasant and really lovely.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when I was over at Kingston upon Thames, the welcome that I got from Kingston upon Thames was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was over at Twickenham, I actually spoke to an inspector over at Twickenham.
Right.
And this is the thing. And then when you look at your colleague that just came over with you, telling me to stop filming, I don't have to stop filming. Okay, now you've been lovely and pleasant to talk to, and I do appreciate your time, and I do appreciate that you did stop me. Because as I said, if you didn't stop me, you wouldn't be doing your job.
Yeah.
Okay, and I understand that. And that's why I welcome any engagement with any officer,
Yeah.
and that is what it's about, is being able to talk.
Yeah.
Because if we don't talk, that's where the divide is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay, but you got to admit the way that your colleague came over just then, okay,
I think
was
it's-
very wrong.
I think sometimes when you put a camera in someone's face, it's a
No,
bit
she walked to me. No, she walked to me.
No, but obviously we coming over to you, and like with you putting the camera at me now, it is quite intimidating.
No, but this is the
to film,
thing.
you
No,
understand?
but this is the thing. You both knew that I had a camera, and
Yeah, so
you
that's
came
why we
to me.
asked to see what you're doing.
Yep.
What I'm saying is now, like you got the camera on me, which
Yep.
is fine because you're allowed to do it, but it's a little bit intimidating for me to be filmed. Do you understand that? Like,
Yeah, I
if
know,
was
but
filming you, it's
but
like a little
but
bit
then you have the right to walk away from the camera. You have the right to walk away from the camera.
As police, we have to like ask you what you're doing, investigate, like.
Yeah, but then as a member of the public, I have the right not to say anything.
Yeah.
But I'm not like that, okay? That's why I said I welcome any form of engagement at all. Any form of engagement. Because as I said, okay, there's a lot of fantastic officers out there. There's a lot of fantastic officers out there.
Yeah.
And it's also those officers that need to be shown to the public, okay? So the public don't lose faith in the police.
Yeah.
And this is also the big thing, okay, that I like to do, is also highlight a lot of good work that serving police officers do. It's like I was only over at Surrey headquarters literally a few weeks ago, and literally what I learned to do with what goes on to do with the actual Thin Blue Line. And
Before a single word is exchanged, understand this. This is not asterisk a random confrontation. This is a calculated audit that targets one of the most uncomfortable subjects any police station can face accountability for their own misconduct. The moment the word documentary is mentioned, everything changes. Why? Because the subject isn't crime on the streets. It's alleged sexual misconduct by officers themselves, and that flips the power dynamic instantly. What you're about to see isn't shouting, threats, or chaos. It's something far more revealing. How authority reacts when it becomes the subject of scrutiny instead of the enforcer of watch closely, how fast lawful rights are questioned, how quickly discomfort reactions. It's about watching reactions unravel on their own. So ask yourself as we go forward, if transparency is truly valid.
what it's about is literally showing people like yourself, like where you've come up to me and the way that you've spoken and the way that you've engaged, okay, has been absolutely incredible. The only thing that I haven't asked you, would you mind identifying yourself, please?
Yeah, what's your name?
I would decline on that.
I'm just going to span that as well then.
No, under your policy, you have 3 forms of identification, okay, and you have to identify yourself if a member of the public asks, whether or not that's your collar number, your actual warrant card, okay, and you're not in uniform either.
No.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you just to actually fully identify yourself, even if it is only your collar number.
Yeah.
When your colleague came along, she showed me a warrant card.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just asking you to identify yourself. That's fine.
That's 2048.
No worries, thank you very much. Okay, and that's the thing. This is why I told you it's about the engagement. I told you why I was here.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't know the actual case. You couldn't make a comment on it. But then the way that we're actually talking now, this is how it should be. Okay, and I know everybody's had an absolutely unbelievable year and a half. Okay, that's been absolute hell for everybody. And this is the thing, we also need to highlight the good things that are being done. Okay, so don't think that it was just about being here and literally having things that go wrong. It's not about that. Okay, it's also highlighting the good things as well that goes on.
And right here is the first critical fracture in the encounter. The auditor asserts a clear, lawful position, the right to record in a public space, and instead of hearing a legal counterpoint, we immediately get a demand. Not a statute, not a policy, just an instruction. This moment matters because authority without explanation relies on compliance, not law. When the officer insists the camera must go down, yet provides no lawful basis, the power insistence on rights. And that calm is what creates tension. Because when authority is confident, it explains itself. When it isn't, it deflects. Viewers should pay attention to how quickly the conversation moves away from legality and toward discomfort. Ask yourself, if filming were truly unlawful here, wouldn't the explanation be immediate and
To turn her back and be very, very rude. The other officer, the one that's in the actual white and black trousers, been really nice to talk to, really pleasant. The other one was very, very quite arrogant and very rude. And that's the problem. And that's why when you look at it as a whole, it's not right in the way that things are done. So, and that's why we do exactly all what we can do, okay? And why we do it, okay, is literally, it's about literally engaging with the actual public. And that isn't what's being done. And that's why we do what we do. And that's why it's literally, it's about doing what we do, okay, and making ourselves literally very, very open with what we do. She came along, I told her exactly why I was here, and she decided to get very, very funny. So, and this is why I would do exactly what I'm doing. I have every legal right to be here. And that's the thing. So when you actually look as a whole and when you look at what's being done, okay, this is why we do what we do and how we do it and why we do it. And this is the thing. So when you look, okay, literally people have to remember that I have the legal right in which to be here. I've committed no crime, okay, I've broken no law. So why she decided to actually come out and give me this outright full aggression, I do not know. And that is the actual big thing, okay? And that is why when you actually look as a whole, okay, and what's actually going on, okay, that is why we do what we do, okay, and how we do it and why we do it. So, and that's the big thing. They approached me, sir.
Okay, what
They came to me, sir. So let's verify that. They came to me, sir.
Yeah, okay, what did they say?
Okay? Well, telling me that I shouldn't be here, okay? I have every legal right to be here. I've spoken to several other officers here,
Okay.
right? I'm here doing an actual documentary, okay,
Right.
on this police station and 2 other police stations where they
Yeah.
put a unit together, okay, and 5 of those officers committed sexual offences and were suspended for a total of 18 months.
Okay. Do you have any documentation to prove that you are allowed to?
Well, I'm in public, sir. I'm in public.
Okay.
I'm doing a perfectly lawful activity.
Well-
I'm in public and I'm allowed to film whatever I can see
Okay.
in public.
Okay.
And that is exactly what I'm doing, sir.
So you said that you're carrying out a documentary, is that right?
Yes, for myself.
Okay. For yourself?
Yes.
Okay. It was just understanding whether it was for the media or...
No, for myself, sir.
Okay. So what's your involvement in all of this? If these officers...
Well, I'm a member of the public, sir.
All right. But what's
I'm a
your
member-
involvement in terms of...
No, I'm a member of the public, okay, and I've come here, okay,
Yeah.
to actually find out whether or not any serving officer, okay, as a human being, believes that it's right for somebody in that position,
Right.
okay, to commit a crime such as that,
Okay.
right, and think that it's actually acceptable just purely because they're a serving officer that they only get an 18-month suspension from work.
All
That's
right.
not right. As a human being,
don't
it's not
think-
right.
I don't think any of us can...
This is the moment the temperature spikes, and it has nothing to do with the camera. The auditor explains why they're there, and suddenly the interaction carries real weight. Allegations involving sexual misconduct by officers strike at the core of public trust, and notice the shift. The conversation stops being procedural and becomes defensive. Importantly, the auditor isn't accusing anyone present. They're asking whether serving names aren't recalled, circumstances aren't known. And while that's fair on the surface, it also conveniently avoids the issue